I basically woke up with severe headache. I did not pay much attention to it in the beginning, but then it was happening again and again. Even if I take a sip of water, I was like vomiting again. I am going to sleep early in the morning. Sometimes it's 5-6 a.m. Sometimes it's even 8-9 a.m. I work till late hours. I also have coffee. So there's no fixed routine also when I'm exactly having the food. The real problem with hustle culture is that because everybody is going through the same situations, like you would also have a headache, I'll also have it, somebody would also have a backache. It has sort of normalized. Like if I'm also going through that, I would be like, everybody is going through it. It's okay. All the time that I'm not sleeping, I'm talking about work only.
Hello and welcome. In this episode, joining us is Kritarth Mittal, founder of Soshals. Welcome, Kritarth. And what are we discussing today? The ugly side of hustle culture. Now, Kritarth brought attention to this recently with a post on X. I'll read out that post and then take this discussion further. He said, hustle culture comes with a cost. Some you incur right away and some over decades. Choice is yours. I'm just here to show you the ugly side of it so you don't get swayed easy. This is me after pulling all-nighters, sleeping for less than 5 to 6 hours and no diet plan. This post came with a picture that he sent from a hospital bed. Kritarth, how did you end up in the hospital?
I basically woke up with severe headache. I did not pay much attention to it in the beginning, but then I felt like I want to puke. So I woke up, I vomited once, and then I felt like it is happening again. So for an hour or so, I tried to, I sort of avoided all of thinking too much, but then it was happening again and again. Even if I take a sip of water, I was like vomiting again. Then I figured that I need to visit a doctor. So the doctor gave me some medicines, and the moment I took medicines, I vomited again. So I tried to like take a break, and then I tried again, but it was not happening. The moment I would take a bite or even a sip of water, I would like puke again. So I figured that I should like visit the doctor again, see what is exactly happening. So he recommended that I should now like get hospitalized. This is not going to work like this. So that is how like I reached the hospital, and by the time I reached the hospital, actually this was early in the evening. So during this whole like 5-6 hours, I did not have anything. I was constantly vomiting. So I by that time I was like feeling super weak, and I was almost like full body pain was there. So when that is how like I got hospitalized. Then they gave me some injections. Then they kept me under observation for a few hours and gave a preliminary diagnosis.
And what did that preliminary diagnosis tell you?
Earlier understanding was that either this can be like regular food poisoning, or it might be due to bad acid reflux. That was one of the reasons, and because this was one of the reasons, the doctor asked me about my routine and everything like about my diet or what I had earlier that day and all. And that is when the conversation came up that I usually work till late, or I am going to sleep early in the morning. Sometimes it's 5-6 a.m. Sometimes it's even 8-9 a.m. And because I work till late hours, I also have coffee. And caffeine is not good for your stomach if you are like sleeping late, or you should not have coffee at all after like probably 7-8 p.m.
Okay.
So that can cause to acid reflux, and because I don't sleep a lot, this happening, or the frequency of all this happening, or the possibility of all this happening also increases like multifold.
Okay. You are a startup founder, and we've heard and we've read about how founders hustle a lot, and there's so much work involved, very little sleep, no proper diet plan, nutrition, all of these. We've heard about this, we've read about this, but now we have somebody who can actually tell us what was your routine like when you were building Soshals and up until you were hospitalized.
So now my sleep schedule, it has been a little messy, or I would say like very messy since like my college days. College days, you are like young, ambitious, so you are like you just want to work hard. You think that you can just outwork everybody. So that is how my routine was like. But like even after I left college, I worked for a corporate. Then also my routine was like I would go to sleep late. I knew that I would have to wake up by 10:30. So even if I'm going to sleep around 6, I would wake up at 10:30 anyway, because I have to attend a call. So it stayed, and since like till now also it has been like that. I usually sleep early in the morning. Now the problem is that I can choose to sleep for 8 hours, but usually that is the same time everybody is like going about doing their chores and doing the work. So there's always some background noise. So I would not get that REM sleep, or I would not get that continuous 8 hours of sleep. I'll probably wake up by 11 again or 10 again, then I'll go back to sleep. So it's usually like in breaks you would feel disturbed a lot of times, and then it is also dependent on what kind of calls I have in the next day, because I have to adjust based on the other person's schedule also. So I'll probably wake up sometimes at 10, just like I'll wake up in 2 hours, have the call, and then go back to sleep. Or sometimes I would wake up by 12, 1. So the sleep schedule has been like that, and now this causes, like, this impacts the food plan also, because if I'm up or if I'm going to sleep by 9, I'll probably have breakfast and then I'll go to sleep. Or if I'm waking up by 12, 1, I'll have lunch around 3, 4 p.m. So there's no fixed routine also when I'm exactly having the food. Sometimes I even forget to have food, because probably like I'm occupied and I lost track of time.
Okay. Even when you manage to eat, do you focus on eating healthy, or has it always been whatever you get or junk food and things?
I would not say I consume a lot of junk. I like eat once every week. Maybe I'm going outside or ordering, but I stay at home, so I have like food at home only. It's usually like, even when I'm having food, I'll probably not be paying attention to just like having a good 15-minute time to have the meal. I'll probably be using my phone. And also, it's because it's not routine, I might not even pay attention. If there's 2 chapatis in my plate, I'll probably have it and I'll put it away. I will not realize that, okay, I've not had full meal. So that was like kind of like that.
Kritarth, you brought attention to this whole hustle culture and the ugly side of it with that post on X. And there were a lot of news reports about that post itself. But as a personal health and wellness platform, we were curious to understand what went behind it. But we also would like to know what sort of changes you are now going to make, because that post brought attention to this issue, but everybody is also curious about what are you going to do next? How are you going to fix things?
So yeah, it's not like this like came as a wake up call. I always knew, like, I'm sort of compromising health to achieve certain targets. The problem with hustle culture, or I would say, like, when you're building something, you have like 5 things or 10 things you can do. In a company, when you are like working a job, you have a clear direction, you get done with the task and you are done for the day. But in like if you're building something of your own, you get done with one thing, there would be always another thing waiting for it. Like if I'm just acting as a software developer, I would write the code, but once I'm done with it, I'll now have to think about marketing also, sales also. There's no teams and all these structures in place. So that is something which probably every founder has to go through. I think the real problem with hustle culture is that because everybody is going through the same situations, like you would also have a headache, I'll also have it, somebody would also have a backache, it has sort of normalized. Like if I'm also going through that, I would be like, everybody is going through it, it's okay. When it is not okay, like everybody should pay attention, but because everybody is going through, this has become normalized, and even like if you have early signs of it, you don't pay attention because you are sort of used to all of this. So I think that is the problem. Second is, I figured that it's basic math. Like if I'm working an hour more or 2 hours more every day, and I'm ending up in a hospital bed for 1 week, 2 months later, then the amount of hours I've put in extra work in this 2 months are anyway like wasted in this 7-day period. And same is like the math with your money also. You tried to work hard, you made more money, and then you ended up paying for the bills. So I was always aware of the facts that this is not good, this is not good. But this time I just sort of realized the math of it, and I realized that it's not actually contributing much to, like, it's not substantial improvement just because I'm putting in more work. Because by the end of the day, I'm like my brain cells are like almost like dead. So I'm not paying attention, I'm not as attentive or productive. So anyway, spending more time is not going to lead to much. So I decided that I'll change this whole schedule. I'll follow what the doctors are saying, or the physicians, etc. have recommended. So now I'm trying to go to sleep early, but because I'm used to sleeping at 6, I don't feel sleepy at 1 in the morning or 1 at the night. So now I'm trying to like sleep before 12 p.m. 12 a.m. Usually it is now still stretching till 1, but I'll try to reduce it till 11 p.m. And then wake up, in 7 to 8 hours.
Okay. Before this, how many hours would you work in a day?
I won't say like it's not 10-12 hour kind of thing. It's like my co-founder actually gets annoyed by this. all the time that I'm not sleeping, I'm talking about work only.
And going by what you said, sleep hours are also not too many, so pretty much all the time.
Yeah, so it's not like that I'm going for a walk. If I'm going for a walk because I know like I should have half an hour walk, I'll probably use that time to also call somebody who I'm supposed to call that day. So like the rest of the whole day is like in work only.
Okay. How are you planning to change that schedule now? Do you have like a structured, a timetable for yourself going forward?
Not very rigid boundaries, but like I'll try to just follow a diet plan. Like I'll go to the gym. I'll try to make sure like I'm hitting the gym every day. Also following a food diet, as in like if I have to get lunch by 1 p.m, I'll have to get it anyway. Even if there's a meeting, I'll cancel that meeting or I'll have it during the meeting. But that is with the food, and also for the sleep. Like if I have to go to sleep by 11 or 12, I'll have to do it anyway. Even if there's work and I know I can do it quickly, I'll just like put a boundary there. Otherwise, for all the hours I'm awake working and all, I think that is what I like to do. So I'll continue with that, but I think with better habits, it won't be as taxing as it is right now.
You are 25 now?
Yeah.
Yes. And increasingly we are seeing a lot of youngsters actually living with conditions that are caused by lifestyle changes or not following a proper diet, sleep pattern, socialization and all of these things, which goes on to tell you that you must focus on those 8 hours of sleep, give your body the rest it needs, the food it needs, and all the other time that you require as a work-life balance as such. So Kritarth, thank you for bringing focus to that very important aspect of the hustle culture or the importance of a work-life balance from somebody as young as 25-year-old. Before we wrap up, any parting note to our audience, somebody who is passionate about their work that they forget to sleep and eat on time?
Yeah, I think so. This is a message for everybody who's like me. Like most of the India comes from very humble beginnings, and we are all very ambitious. So we feel that if we just work too hard and try too many things, it will be good. But I have been I have this first-hand experience where it does not work like that. Like you can find smarter ways, and there are all these ways to find alternatives. But the most important thing is that you do not compromise health. It can be sleep, food, and also leisure time also. Like this year I changed this. So till last year I would not travel a lot. I would avoid meetups and all because I would feel that it is a waste of time. This year I decided that I'll just travel once every 2-3 months so that it gives me a break from all the regular routine. So I think try to balance everything, and just spending 2-3 more hours doing the work will not actually contribute substantially, and it has like short term, as I mentioned in the post, it has short term not benefits, of course. So it has short term problems, which is like your headache, backache, etc., and long term also, because stress would impact your in general your mental bandwidth. It would impact your sexual health. It would impact everything is like pretty visible. So we cannot put our future in harm's way just because we feel that this can actually lead to something. It's not worth it. To be honest, I don't think it's worth it, and I am feeling the change. For the last 2 weeks I'm trying to maintain a schedule. It's not like I'm doing less work. It's not at all like I'm not feeling productive. In fact, it is all the same. It was just in my head that I work till late in the morning. I'm trying to put in more work. Is actually why I am doing better, but I feel exactly the same in terms of like the amount of work I'm doing or the output that I'm generating. But health-wise, I think it will take a time for me to realize the benefits of it now.
All right. Thank you so much. I think one line that is very simple but yet very solid that will stay with me as I walk out of this interview would be that, all the time and money that you save right now, spending extra hours at work and not focusing on your physical and mental health, you might end up spending all of that in a hospital later on. So to make sure you don't do that, focus on your health today, right now, and give importance to sleep, nutrition, and a good work-life balance, like Kritarth has highlighted in that post, as well as right now through his life as well after that unfortunate incident. We're very glad that you're back and healthy. Wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.